Visherollasa. The 309th verse of 13th chapter Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Sabai Paramananda Dekhiya Prakasha Kaharo na Guche Krishna Visherollasa. Everyone was filled with ecstasy after seeing this pastime. Their ecstatic love for Krishna was uninterrupted. Yara Anga Parashite Rama Bhaya Paya. Se Prabhura Anga Sange Madhya. The two drunkards danced in the association of he whose body the goddess of fortune is afraid to touch. Madhya Pera Uddharila Chaitanya Goswami. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered the two drunkards. Vaishnava Ninda ke Kumbhipa ke Dilafani. It's also, I think, we had done last time. Still, anyhow, the blasphemers of the Vaishnavas to the hell known as Kumbhipaka. Nindaina Bade Bade Dharma Sabe Papa Labha Eteka Ka Na Kore Ninda Sava Mahabhaga. Blasphemy does not enhance one's religious principles. It only results in sin. That is why fortunate souls do not engage in blasphemy. So what is that dharma which is lost? That is compassion. The moment you blaspheme someone, dharma is lost. Dharma is based on 4 principles: compassion, purity, austerity, and truthfulness. So when you blaspheme, naturally you are having enviousness. That is why you are speaking a very cruel language, or you are trying to degrade a person. A mother will never degrade a child. Mother scolds the child, but never degrades the child. Mother never blasphemes the child. Blasphemy is nothing but the perverted form of enviousness. So when you envy someone, naturally you will criticize the person. So the dharma is lost. One's religious principle is lost. So that is why it only results in sin. So fortunate souls, they never engage themselves in blasphemy. They will scold but not engage in blasphemy. They'll correct us but not criticize us. The devotees of the Lord do not blaspheme anyone in this world. One who blasphemes others is known as sinful or irreligious person. To attribute on someone faults that are not present is called blasphemy. Somebody is not faulty, but you are trying to show the fault. So that is blasphemy, being induced by irrelevant goals. Those who are unable to tolerate the glorification of others and the desire to attack them unfairly attribute faults on them, continually meet with inauspiciousness day after day. A person who out of envy attributes faults on an irreproachable Vaishnava must go to the hell known as Kumbhipak and suffer very severe miseries. Those sinful persons who cannot understand that Sarva Mahaguna Gana Vaishnava Sharira, all good qualities are present in the body of a Vaishnava, and who consider that non-Vaishnavas are equal to Vaishnavas, can never achieve any benefit. To criticize the behavior of non-devotees is called Sadupadesha, or good instruction. Other than devotional service to Krishna, all activities of the living entities are condemnable. So you can blaspheme a non-devotee, and that is not called criticism. In fact, there is good instruction what you're giving. Sinful people often engage in abominable activities on the pretext of devotional service to Vishnu. Instructions to them to give up these activities should not be called ninda or blasphemy. So sometimes we see that on the name of God consciousness, people have inner motives. So you can tell them. Those instructions are not called ninda or blasphemy. It is in fact, it is known as instructions, good instructions. Dui dasyu dui bhagavata kari ganera sahita nache gauranga Shri Hari. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced along with the two rogues who became now Mahabhagavatas. Nityaveshe Vasila Thakura Vishwambhara. Vasila Chaudeke Vedi Vaishnava Mandala. So seeing that everybody were overwhelmed, all the Vaishnavas sat around Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sarva Ange Dhulachari Anguli Pramana. Tathapi Sabara Anga Nirmala Gaya. Purvata Haila Prabhu Gauranga Sundara Asiya Sabare Bale Prabhu Vishwambar. So here actually we are stopped. Vaishnavas who sat around Mahaprabhu, they were covered with 2 inches of dust. Well, externally they appeared dirty, but internally they were most auspicious and all-knowing Vaishnavas. Ye duire papi hena na kari namane. Ye duire papa muni dahiruna apanu. Do not consider these two as sinners, for I have personally burned their sinful reactions to ashes. सर्वदेहे मुनि करो बोलो चलो खाना तबे देह पात यबे मुनि चली याना. In the bodies of all living entities, it is I who make them act, speak, move, and eat. When I leave a body, it dies. When the living entity attains spiritual knowledge, he no longer maintains the 3 types of false ego. The living entity then surrenders at the lotus feet of the Lord and becomes liberated. Chaitanya speaks about it. It is stated, Diksha Kale Bhakta Kore Atma Swamarpana. Sei Kale Anjali Gopika Mataji, Bimlesh Mataji, Sangeeta Rajaram Mataji, Sushma Mishra Mataji. All of you mute your phone. Sangeeta, Sushma Mataji, mute your phone. So Diksha Kale Bhakta Kore Atma Samarpana. Sei Kale Krishna Tare Kore Atma Sama. So what is Diksha? Diksha is Divyakyan Ikshari Diksha. So what happens during Diksha? Bhakta Kari Atma Samarpana. He is completely now surrendered and surrenders himself to Krishna. So that time Krishna considers him as good as himself. Sei Deha Kare Tara Chidanandamaya Aprakrita Dehe Tanra Charana Bhajaya. So Krishna, when the body of the devotee is transformed into spiritual existence, Chidanandamaya, the devotee renders service at the lotus feet of Krishna. So what is the purpose of initiation? The purpose is to serve Krishna. So after initiation, if a person is not serving, then what is the use of initiation? The purpose of initiation is completely surrendering oneself to Krishna and serving Krishna in different ways. After Shri Gaurasundar accepted the bodies of Jagai Madhai to be as good as his own, whatever he had them to do, whatever he had them do, whatever he had them speak, however he had them behave, whatever he had them eat was favorable for the service of Vishnu. In this way, after turning one towards the service of Lord, the worshipable Lord takes his worshipper servant who leaves a body made of 5 gross elements within the world, material world, and departs. So that is why it is said, if the person is not initiated, then whatever he may do, he has not yet surrendered completely to Krishna. When you are connected to a sampradaya, very important, it's not to a particular guru you are surrendered. You are surrendered to the whole sampradaya, to that particular guru who is the representative of the whole sampradaya, Gaudiya Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. That is how ISKCON belongs to. ISKCON is an institution, but coming under Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. The moment you are connected in the Diksha process, you are connected to the whole Sampradaya. In this way, you are dedicated to the service of Krishna. You have surrendered to Krishna. Diksha Kale Atma Samarpana. Sei Kale Sei Krishna Tare Atma Saman. Sei Kale Ta Krishna Tare Atma Saman. So in this way, Krishna now considers him as his own. Why? Krishna knows now he is bound to the rules and regulations which has been given in the sampradaya. Every sampradaya, the rules and regulations have been given. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. This is the universal Vaishnava regulations. At the same time, there is a universal Vaishnava rules. Association of devotees, book reading, chanting, deity worship, dhambas. This is all universal. It is not just for ISKCON. It is universal Vaishnava Siddhanta. Yehi dehe alpa dukhe jiva dak chade. Muni vina sei deha padire na nade. So the living entity cries out if he feels a little distress. But if I am not present in this body, it will not even move when burnt. So the living entities has the feel of pleasure and pain because I am present. And the moment I am not present, even if he is even if he is burnt, he will not move. When a conditioned soul feels a little distress, he shouts loudly because of impatience. When the living entity, when the Lord and the devotee leaves a body, he does not react even if it is burned with fire. The Lord is transcendental and has supreme consciousness, while the living entity is a fragmental spiritual particle. As long as one does not have the propensity for transcendental service, due to the absence of Krishna consciousness, one becomes controlled by three types of false ego and continues to display independence. The proper use of independence is to become inclined towards the service of the Lord. But the senses of persons who are averse to the Lord's service are induced by three types of false ego to engage in pious and impious activities and more or less identify with material nature. So independence is given to be completely dependent on Krishna. It is not that we have to become averse to the service of Krishna. The people who are not in the service of Krishna, what they do, they get induced by the three types of ego, false ego, to engage in all types of pious and impious activities. Three types of false ego are driven by three gunas. Even a satoguna person has a false ego. Passionate person has, and a tamasic person also has. False ego refers to false identification. Satoguna person also has. Somebody may say how he has. Because he wants to be good in the society and he thinks that I am the only well-wisher of everyone. I am the one who is running the society. I am the one because of whom the people are fed, poor are taken care, dogs are taken care, everybody is taken care. So this is known as false ego. Being good is also false ego. The moment we are averse to the service of Krishna, there the goodness binds us. Passion also binds us, tamas also binds us. तबे ये जीवेर दुख करे अहंकार मुनि करो बलो भली बली पाया mahamara. But the living entity's distress is due to false ego. He suffers miseries because he claims, I am the doer, I am the speaker. Since the living entity who has become averse to the Lord considers himself a product of and belonging to material nature, the three types of false ego immerse him in an ocean of distress. He then becomes afflicted with the threefold material miseries and proudly considers, I am the doer, I am the master, I am the enjoyer. Eteke yateka kaila yei dui jane karilu ami vichalame apane. Therefore, the activities done by these two were actually done by me, and I have released them from the reactions. Jagai and Madai were intoxicated with false prestige, misused the independence given to them. So I personally destroyed their misfortune. In other words, I had delivered them from the misconceptions of I have done, I have said, which were produced from the misuse of their independence. Yah jani, ye duera, sakala vaishnava, dekhiva abheda, dishtaye, yena tumi sava. So knowing this fact, all of you Vaishnavas should see them as one of you and not discriminate against them. So false ego, false identification. False identification happens when we become averse to the devotional service. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that whatever they have done or whatever the consequences happened, the transformations happened, everything is because of me. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to all the Vaishnavas, consider them as one of you. Shuna yei agya mora ye hoy amar. Yei duvera shraddha करे ये दिबा आहार अनंत ब्रह्मांड मचे यत मधु वैसे से हय कृष्णेर मुखे दिले प्रेम वशे. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, if you really belong to me, ye hoy amar, then agya mora, shuna agya mora, then you should listen to my order. Whatever you faithfully give these two to eat will be equal to offering with love to Krishna's mouth all the honey available in innumerable universes. So whatever you give them to eat, it is as cool as giving all the honey of the universes in Krishna's mouth. Ye duera vata matra dibe yei jana tara se Krishnera mukhe madhu samarpana. So anyone who gives these to a small portion of food, it is considered as giving honey in the mouth of Krishna. The Lord releases footsteps to the mouth of his devotees. Vaishnava Mukha, Brahmana Mukha. The devotees do not enjoy any material object like non-devotees do. Since the devotees offer everything to Lord and constantly remain engaged in the service of accepting his remnants, if someone gives a small portion of food to a devotee of the Lord, then it amounts to offering sweetmeats to Shri Krishna. In this regard, one should discuss the commentary on 228 of this chapter. That is the power of feeding a Vaishnava. You feed a Vaishnava, you have won Krishna's heart. It is as good as giving honey in the mouth of Krishna. That too, Brahmana honey. Just a small morsel of food you give a Vaishnava. It is said, I eat. In 228 verse, Krishna says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told here, I will eat to the mouth of these two and I will incarnate in your bodies. That is the power of feeding the Vaishnavas. It is as good as giving to Krishna. Ye dui janera ye kariba parihasa. Ye duera paradha tara sarvanasha. If anyone criticizes, ridicules these two, he will be ruined as a result of that offense. Considering their previous sinful activities according to Nagna Matraka Nyaya, very important, this Nyaya. Nagna Matraka Nyaya, always remember this word. It is said once mother was naked in her childhood. Is she continuing to be naked now? The logic states that because once mother was naked in her childhood, she should continue to remain naked even though she has become mother of so many children. No. So one must have done offenses in the past. That doesn't mean that he has to do again. Nagna matraka nyaya. So somebody blasphemes. 6 years before, or 7 years before, or 10 years before, he was like this, like this. Is he now like this? So that is the question. If he has changed, then he should not again repeat what sins he has done. And that is why it is said, never remove the sins of Vaishnavas. Never remove the past of the Vaishnavas. And never decide the future of a rogue or a sinner. Never decide the future of the sinner. Never criticize the past of the Vaishnavas. A past of a Vaishnava, maybe he must have done a lot of sinful activity. But if he is improving by taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then one need not criticize. If he is criticizing, then that is Nagna Matraka Nyaya. With that Nyaya, you can tell. Is your mother naked now? She was naked in the childhood, but is she now? The same way in the future. We don't know which sinner will become a pure Vaishnava. We have the example of Valmiki. He was a great hunter. He used to kill the animals. But just because of the association of Narada Muni, he became a great Vaishnava. He wrote Ramayana. So whose life will change? Jamil. Whose life will change? We don't know. We are seeing here the example of Jagai Madai. In this regard, one should discuss the two verses. Na prakrtatvam iha bhakta janasya pashet apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananyam. Na prakrtatvam iha bhakta janasya pashet. Nectar of instruction speaks about it. Nectar of instruction says, if you see a dirty dirt on Ganga, don't have to criticize. Because if you little bit remove that much, Ganga is always pure. Purity of Ganga can never be spoiled. It is said here. Drishtai sabhava janiter upasascha doshe na prakrutamiha bhakta janasya pashet Gangam basam na khalu budbuddha fena pankayet brahmadravastha pagacchati niratalmai. With an ordinary vision, born with our own nature, we cannot criticize the dosha of the body of the Vaishnavas, having a materialistic consciousness. It is like seeing the Ganga water with having the bubbles, foam and mud. We cannot do that. Ganga is always pure. It is people who try to spoil the water. Externally, it may seem that the water is spoiled, but Ganga, Sevanam, is always pure. Dunya Vaishnava Gana. Dunya Vaishnava Gana Kande Maha Preme. Jagai Madai Prati Kare Pranami. So just hearing the words of Mahaprabhu, all the Vaishnavas cried in ecstasy. They offered obeisances to Jagai and Madai. Prabhu bole, Shuna Bhasaba Bhagavata Gana Chala Sabe Yei Bhagirathira Charana. Come, let us all go to Ganga. Bhagirathi Charana. Sarvagana Sahita Thakura Vishwambara. Padila Jhanavi Jale Vanamala Dhari. So everybody went to Ganga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was accompanied by his associates. He was wearing a wonderful garland of forest flower. And in this way, Kirtana Anande Yata Bhagavatagan, Shishu Praya Chanchala Chatitra Sarvakshana. So they were complete in ecstasy of Kirtan. All were behaving like a restless young boys. Generally, when Kirtan is there, you dance. You are in ecstasy. It seemed as if young children are dancing. Last verse. Mahabhavaya Vruddhasava Sheshashitu Mata Yei Mata Haya Vishnu Bhaktira Shakati. So they were all grown-ups, great, learned, mature, but somehow they behave like a small children. You see, when the Kirtan goes on, he may be a director of a company. He may be very learned. He may be very rich. He may be very honorable in the society, but somehow, like small child raising the two hands dancing. This is the potency of devotional service to Krishna. Because we may be very advanced in this material world, but before Lord, we are all children. As a child raises two hands and dances before mother, and the mother claps the hand. You see, in the childhood, we were dancing in different ways. And our mother and father, they used to relish our dance in the same way. When the Harinam Sankirtan goes on, the devotees dance in ecstasy. That is what we have to do on 21st January also. The Yatra is there. Everybody has to come. Don't give some excuses. It is Sunday. You can jump in and dance in ecstasy. Every year we keep on 26th January, but because 22nd is Ram Lalla's Ayodhya temple opening. So everybody demanded, let us keep near to that. And being Sunday, 21st is Sunday, come, do services. Come and dance. Dancing, singing for Lord is the best service which we can offer. Packing the prasadam, distribution of prasadam, take part in as much as services as much as possible. Take prasadam packets in your hand, distribute to everyone. We are going to have enrolled Ekadashi Prasad. It is Ekadashi also. It is a fortune. Ekadashi, Ram Darbar, Rath Yatra on top of that. On top of the distribution of prasadam. So much of sukruti a person gets. So much of blessings from Lord. Because on Ekadashi, distribution of Ekadashi prasadam, chanting and making others also chant, dancing and making others also dance. So this is going to enhance our devotional service. And I have seen always, whenever our festival comes, it correlates to our festival. Vrindavan Das Thakur's mercy is always there unto us. So Vrindavan Das Thakur always speaks to us through his teachings in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Now dancing in ecstasy, garlanding Lord, behaving like a small child. What it can be? It's only Rath Yatra, isn't it? So the indication is there by our acharyas, our Guru Shishya Parampara, that we all have to take bath very enthusiastically, come from different places. It is superficially in Thane, but it is there for everyone. Don't think it is only a Thana Rath Yatra. It is the Rath Yatra where everybody has to take part. Chembur, Khargar, devotees from Kalyan, Burivali, Kandivali, everybody should come. Of course, Thana devotees also should be there. Wherever you stay, just jump in. 5 o'clock, the timing has been given. So we should be present at least by 4:30. Start the Kirtan, Bhajan. And then we can have wonderful Rath Yatra. Hare Krishna. Any doubts? You can ask.
Hare Krishna Mataji completed up to 3:31. Hare Krishna. Okay.
Devotees from Nasik also should come for Rath Yatra.
Yes, Mataji.
Everybody should come. The indication has been given. Whenever we do festival and there is an indication by our acharyas through the teachings, we should understand it is approved. How to understand whether our activities are approved or not? This is all the indication. So we may do many activities according to our wishes, but it is approved and accepted by Lord. This is an indication. Okay. Let's stop here. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। समस्त वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।